Hello, hope you're feeling well. Today we're gonna talk about Paleolithic times, but I have some notes. I'm gonna read a little bit more than usual because it's a lot of numbers and a lot of facts, so I don't want to get confused. I'm not very good with numbers. Okay, so Paleolithic times, we have Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, and these are stone ages. Okay, Paleolithic lasted from in one variant 2.6 until or 2.3 million years and up to 10,000 years before Christ. Okay, BC, and in other about 2 million years. Until 10,000, and then began Mesolithic time, and or 9,600. We have different data, and Neolithic started about 6,000 years before Christ, about in Serbia, and lasted up to 4,500, 4,000, something like that. We talked about that yesterday. After that were those metal ages, copper, bronze, iron. Okay, up to the end of the first millennium. So, what was the criteria for that division of ages? It was how they made their stone tools. Okay, how those stone tools looked like. That is the main criteria. Okay, so we have a geological division too. And but we are only going to mention Pleistocene. Pleistocene lasted from 1.81 million years until 11,550, or the other one that I said, 9,600 before Christ, and that was the time when we had the four glacial periods and four interglacial periods. Basically, it was Ice Age. After that, at about 9,600 in Serbia, started Holocene, and Holocene is today's period too. It's lasting now. Okay, so what about human persons and men? From 200,000 until 100,000 years, we had Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus. Homo erectus invented fire, and at that time were the first real or true hunters. Okay, and about 1,000 years, no, 100,000 years ago, we have Homo sapiens and Homo neanderthalis. Okay. As for Homo sapiens, he came to Europe about 40,000 years ago. And what we can say about Paleolithic times? Tribes were hunters, gatherers, and even they were eating carrion, and that means like vultures, that stuff. and they were living in caves and potholes and outdoors. But it's very difficult to find those outdoors, some artifacts or traces of their traces. Okay, so as for animals in Serbia at Paleolithic times, we had animals that were enormously big. Okay, bigger than today's. We had a mammoth. Okay, mammoths, roan rhinoceros, buffaloes, cyber tigers, and for example cave bears. Okay, some of them they were eating, some of those animals were eatable, but they were really really big. And it's very interesting in Serbia, in the northern part, in Vojvodina, for example, town Kikinda, we have a lot of a lot of mammoths, we found out. And even you have places where you could find 10 or 20 at one place, okay, like a graveyard of mammoths. So we have a lot of them. Okay, and now we are going to say something about caves and what is interesting from findings. The most important one is the cave Mala Balanica. You have Velika Balanica too. That means little Balanica and big Balanica. They are at the cliff Sičevačka Klisura, that is the near place. And what we have? We have a lower jaw or mandible of the Homo erectus, and it is dated 525,000 years up to 397,000 years. So that's the age of that mandibula, and it is in the National Museum in Belgrade. So if you are in Belgrade or next time you come, you should visit it and see it. I was, not now, but I don't know, last year I was trying to find what were the oldest findings in Africa, and I think only 3 are older, 2 or 3 are older than these years. Okay, now we're gonna say something beside Mala Balanica. What do we have? Everything about it's in the cages. We have in the cave Pešturina, we have a Neanderthal teeth, and it is dated, just one teeth, no, just one tooth, okay, and it is dated 260,000 years until 30,000 years ago. On other sites, we mostly have traces of tooling with no anthropological material. We don't have anything else. For example, Shalitrena Cave. It's the oldest jewelry found in Serbia. 2 beads from the shell Dentalum, and the period is lower Paleolithic. Then we have a cave, Jerino Brdo, that means Jerina's hill. Jerina is the name, Jerina's hill. We have just traces that Neanderthals lived there, nothing special from the artifacts. Then we have Pečurski Kamen. That means, okay, roughly it means Kamen is stone, and Pečurski means mushroom stone, something like this, doesn't matter. Then we have Prodanova Pećina, and that means Prodan's case. Prodan is a name. We have mountain crystal and quartz, okay, as some artifacts left there, and maybe we suppose that they were that they were used in magical purposes. Maybe, we don't know. Then we have a Smolučka Cave, and there we found more than 200 specimens of flint tools, okay, and with an age estimated at 38,000 years. Okay, there are few more caves, but nothing special in them, only a little bit of traces of Neanderthal and Homo erectus staying, but nothing special. Okay, although I will be editing one book about caves in Serbia, and that archaeologist from doesn't matter, his name is Dragan Jacanovic, from the town Požarevac, okay, he's working in their museum. He went to over 100 caves in Serbia and filmed the material, so it will be interesting. I'll talk about that later. So, what can we say as a kind of a conclusion? That potential of exploration is considerable, and we have large numbers of caves, but poor exploration. So they are not explored enough. And maybe that's understandable, because in Serbia we don't have a lot of resources for exploration and for, you know, digging and everything for archaeological sites. Basically, we don't have enough money for that, even those that are interesting. Okay, more interesting than caves. So that would be for today. This is horrible, okay? Horrible stuff, but I don't find it very interesting, so I just had to read. But from tomorrow, we are going to talk about Lepenski Vir, Mesolithic, okay, beginning of real things. Lepenski Vir is really one of the most interesting sites and cultures, very, very complex culture. So I think you'll like it. Okay. Let me have a little bit of coffee. I hope that you're safe, sound, that you're not panicking, having some nice time at home, that you're working. And let me tell you goodbye. 1, 2. See you tomorrow.